It is Monday, the 29th of June, 2020. Fucking Cam Newton is a member of the New England Patriots. Also, some real estate agents are real fucking assholes. All of this and so much more on episode 16 of Complaints and Observations.
The greatest podcast hosted by someone who knows so precious little about almost everything. A journey into the mediocre mind of an exceptionally average person. This is Complaints and Observations with Dave LaPointe. Who the hell is Dave LaPointe?
Thank you as always, Ken. Appreciate that amazing introduction. It was wonderfully well written and even better executed. So, welcome. Good morning or good afternoon. It'll be afternoon when you hear this, but I'm recording this in the morning. So, yeah, a lot of news from yesterday. Back-to-back Twitter bombs from Adam Schefter. One, saying that Cam Newton had signed with the Patriots, and two, that the NFL curiously concluded their investigation 2 minutes after they announced, after the Patriots announced signing Cam Newton. Announced their findings in their incredibly long investigation on this more supposed cheating from the Patriots. So we'll get to both. Talk about some other shit. What I'm trying to get away from is making this a hey, what's going on with Dave podcast, because my life is inherently boring and it would make for a dreadful podcast. But it's, the same thing, like talk about what you know. I don't really know anything. That's the problem. I am such an absurd generalist. It's not even, it's not a marketable skill by any stretch of the imagination. Although I did put that on my resume to see if anybody would pick that up. Emerging generalist. Just means I know or I'm interested in a lot of different shit, which is pretty much everybody, but there's a name for it. I think I'm going to add that to the context of the podcast so that, I don't focus on anything at all. So it's just random. It's generalist. Whatever. But Cam Newton. I'm excited. And I'm excited for a couple of different reasons. One, when he's on and when he's healthy, he's very good. Now, you're going to hear distractors say that he's not. His numbers are good. And if I prepared more for this program, I would go into that. However, I didn't prepare much. But he's a winning quarterback, number one. He's a former MVP, number two. And he played on some shit teams. Like, let's be honest. I mean, that 2015 team where they went to the Super Bowl, and they only lost because Denver's defense that year was otherworldly. I mean, they were 15-1. They were fucking good. So, it's funny how you go from one MVP to another, and apparently it's the first time ever where one team has lost an MVP and gained an MVP in the offseason. Peculiar. But he only played 2 games last year, lost them both. I mean, he was probably hurt before the season even started. But he had one of those Liz Frank injuries that is just nasty foot injury. Not good. But, I mean, if you look at his 2015 season, that's just It's crazy. He was fucking unreal. 35-10, 3,800 yards. He had a good club. He had good running backs. And that certainly helped. I mean, 182 touchdowns in his career to 108 picks. And he can also run the ball. The guy's run for almost 5,000 yards in his career. 58 touchdowns. Like, how would you not want to take a chance on that? Now, look, I was on the Stidham train. I was all about Stidham. But that was mainly because I'm thinking, all right, well, Belichick loves the kid to keep him around. So why wouldn't I be on board? Well, guess what? He thought enough of Cam Newton. No, it would be Can Mutin. Yep, Can Mutin. That's the Dave LaPointe pronunciation of Cam Newton. Christ almighty. Bill thought enough of him to bring him in. Low money, low risk deal. I still like that other kid that they signed, the free agent from Louisiana Tech, Jamar Smith. Fuck, he could end up keeping 4 quarterbacks. Would it surprise you? Wouldn't surprise me. He's done it before. That's how Brady got here. He kept him in 2000. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be very interesting. And honestly, I think the way that this season is going to play out, where there's going to be no fans at training camp, there's going to be no, in-person press conferences, going to be no fans probably in the stands. So there's going to be zero pressure. I shouldn't say zero pressure. That's not accurate, but he is going to have the opportunity to make the club number 1, to start number 2, and do it in a somewhat relaxing environment. Granted, he still has to deal with Belichick, but you know that they're going to create an offense that is best suited for his style. And from what I've read, Bill has had some discussions with Norv Turner, who is a horrific head coach, dynamite coordinator. He was the coordinator in 2015 when Cam was outstanding, his best season, hands down. And he's only 31 years old. He's not old. Just turned 31 in May. He needs a new keyboard because his Instagram page is like reading hieroglyphics. I can't figure that out. He's a strange cat, don't get me wrong. But quite frankly, I mean, he's going to be incredibly entertaining here. If he is healthy, he is going to be fantastic. And he's a fucking monster. What is he, 6'5", 250, whatever? That's fucking incredible. I love that. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be good. The other thing, the Patriots penalty there for, what would you call it? I don't want to call it cheating because it's just so stupid. I mean, honestly, how the league could possibly think that some rando dude in the press box is going to gain anything. When you could have somebody in the 50-yard line with a phone do the same thing and get better footage. But I mean, $1 million in fines. No TV production crews will be allowed to shoot any games during the season. Big fucking deal. You could take it off the TV. How is that a deterrent? And so, you know what that means? Like, Patriots All Access. They're the only ones that are getting hurt here. So, my condolences, Dan Roach and Steve Burton at Channel 4 for missing out on all the invaluable footage that they are not going to have access to for the upcoming season. They also lose a 3rd-round pick. Well, guess what? They already had 2. So now they only have 1. Big fucking deal. At least I'm pretty sure they had 2. Let me take a look. I don't want to sound like a douchebag when it's like, oh, I mean, plus they're going to get a compensatory pick for Brady, and then according to NBC Sports Boston, which is just a bastion of quality info, a 4th round pick for Kyle Van Noy and a 4th round pick for Jamie Collins. So they're going to be swimming in draft picks. And apparently so they're going to get a 3rd for Brady, but they lose their own. All right, big fucking deal. Then they'll have 3 in the 4th round, a 5th and a 7th, because they traded a 6th to move up. So, he's going to trade out of the 1st round anyway, so big fucking deal. He'll probably just move back out of the 1st round into the 2nd round, get a 2nd round pick and a 3rd, trade down again, yada, yada, yada. You've heard the same shit over and over again. It's just how he operates. But it just adds fuel to the fire of people saying that they're cheaters and that they cheat and boo-hoo, wham. Give me a fucking break. Cheating. Everybody in the fucking league does this. Everybody in every fucking professional sports does shit like that. Everybody in every professional sports, with an S, plural, doesn't belong there, but I said it anyway. So, yeah. So you're gonna hear that. All honestly, in 15 minutes, the Patriots provided 2 weeks of content for all of sports radio and sports TV, because Bill Belichick is living rent-free inside the head of everybody in sports media. It's wonderful and amazing at the same time. What else did I want to talk about? More sports. Novak Djokovic. He could very well be the best tennis player of all time, and he could very well be the biggest clown in the history of sports of all time. So it'd be the GOAT, clowniest of all time. This is where I need the Price is Right loser game show sound. Bum, 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 bum. That was a shit joke. Or a gong. I'm a big fan of the gong. You make a shit joke, you're getting gonged. You have to download that sound. The downside with this program that I use to put this together, I'm not able to add sound effects during the show. It's a very low budget operation here. So, but yeah. So this fucking guy has been saying for a while now that he's not playing again until there's a vaccine. And to top it off, he's probably not going to take said vaccine because he's one of these loony anti-vaxxers. And then he shits on the U.S. Open and says that it's not safe enough because it's New York City. Well, what does our dear friend Novak Djokovic do? But he stages multiple charity, air quotes, events in Serbia or Croatia. I can't remember exactly which one he is from. He is from Serbia. But the tour was in a number of different locations, involved a number of, different types of events. They played basketball. What the fuck? This is what happens when you go to CNN. Fuck you, making noise. Oh, autoplay videos. Fuck, they are the fucking worst. Oh, fuck. That is awful. Nobody needs that. Ugh. I was in a flow. Jesus. Anyways, this fucking jerk off holds this fucking tour that he's going to play tennis. They play, and guess what happens? This fucking douchebag catches the Rona. Because he's playing to in a stadium with fans, no distancing, no masks, probably no fucking hand sanitizer to be found. And there were like 4 of them that got it, and then they went to a club to boot. Just so dumb. It's so stupid. Like, the easiest way to get this to go away is to just fucking don't do shit like that. Yet, for some weird reason, we as humans in 2020 can't figure this out. In the Middle Ages, when the plague showed up, what did people do? They stayed home. They didn't go anywhere. They didn't gather in groups. Man, oh man. But this fucking jerk off, like, fuck this guy. He's a fucking idiot. And a bunch of other people all tested positive. Some people tested negative up front, but they still have to quarantine, self-isolate as they call it. The dude from the Nuggets, Jokic, yeah, that's his name. Yeah, he got it because he was hanging out with this fucking bum. He probably thinks the earth is flat too. So, busy weekend here. House is going on the market, I believe, today. And so we did some house hunting, open houses in the age of COVID. Someone needs to write a short story or a play. The term open house means it's open. You can come by, take a look at it. Open houses in the age of COVID, you need to jump through fucking hoops and make appointments to see them. Doesn't help that it's this current market where it's absolutely a seller's market. Nothing is going for asking, everything's going for over, for the most part. But went to look at a house. The listing said open house Sunday 1 to 3. Show up Sunday 1:15. Get out of the car. Take 3 steps towards the house. Someone opens the front door and yells, "Do you have an appointment?" To which I say, "No. It was in the listing." And I'm thinking there was nothing in the listing. Now, earlier in the day, we went to 1 in, and the realtor asked if we had an appointment. We said no. She said, "Yep, it's appointment only. It was in the listing." And she said it nicely. And I said, "Oh." So I pull up the listing. There it is in big fucking capital letters. First sentence. Requires an appointment. Missed it. So I said, "You know what? I missed it. I'm sorry." But she said, "Look, no problem. Mill around. Take a look out back, around the side. When these folks in here are done, I'll welcome you back. I'll welcome you in the house." Awesome. Go in. We like the house. Layout's exactly what we're looking for. Probably going to put an offer in on that. Back to the other one. So I'm standing now. This woman is yelling at me from across the front lawn. I'm standing there listening to her screech at me. It was clearly stated in the listing. Appointment, I'm booked solid through 5 o'clock. Okay, thank you. You need to go through the agent and your broker and some other person. You need to sign a COVID sheet cause of COVID. Okay, thank you. And I'm booked solid through. You should have talked this over with your agent. Thank you. But I'm booked, but. She just fucking kept going. There was no fucking need for this. Now, there was nothing in the listing that the word appointment was not on the listing. There was some gibberish in there, like buyer agents, something or other, that as a layman, I don't know what that means. So apparently this person thinks that the only people looking at going to open houses are going to open houses with their agent. I don't see the point of that. Quite frankly, I wouldn't want to. But this woman's fucking attitude, it stuck with me and it ruined me for the remainder of the day. Our realtor came to take pictures of the house for the listing. And I told her, I said, I need you to get in touch with this realtor because I want to see this house. And then I want to go up to this fucking twat of a realtor and tell her how fucking terrible she is. But do it nicely. I'm not going to stoop to her level. I may even pull out the old, ma'am, I'm in sales line, which is just the fucking worst. It's like the douchiest fucking thing you can say. It's been said to me way more fucking times than I care to count. It's like, ma'am, I'm in sales. Well, fucking congratulations. Do you want a fucking medal? Yeah, you're in sales because you're an idiot. Like the rest of us people in sales. But I just want to say, like, there was no need for that. What she could have done is waited till we got closer to the house and said, I'm terribly sorry. It's appointments only. I'm booked through 5. Here's my card. Give me a call. We'll try to set something up. Can't promise you anything, but we'll try to set something up. That's how it should have gone. It's not how it went. And it's the kind of thing that has really fucking pissed me off. Way more than it should. But because I am a petty bitch, it has stuck with me. And I can't stop thinking about it. And I really hope, I was talking so much and I just breathed. That was a Darth Vader breath right into the fucking microphone. Did you like that? Whew. I didn't walk this morning, and I think that has a lot to do with it. Typically I would go for a walk, 1.5 miles or so. I didn't today. Don't know why. So I don't have my wind. But I hope you enjoyed that. It was nice. Because that's what that was. It shouldn't bother me so much. But it did. It bothered me. Because I don't like being talked down to. And I like to think that I don't do that to others. I may do that to her. Because she's a twat. Seeing as it's Monday, it is time for 3 gripes. I'm going to do something a little different. Not really different, but I have two things that I want to talk about, and then the third is going to be a random selection from my absurdly long Evernote list. Evernote nist. Boy, I am fucking on it today, huh? Good thing I decided to talk into a podcast, talk into a microphone. Fuck, see? Fuck. Whew. The Human Torch applied for a bank loan. All right. Good thing I decided to talk into a microphone as a hobby, seeing as I can't talk properly. Whew, man. All right. So, I don't know if you heard that, but I farted in my chair. Gripe number one, how driving used to be. This is mainly for us olds. The younger segment of the audience, which I'm sure is massive, since I have on average 22 listeners per show. The goal is to someday wake up and then see that hundreds of listens on each episode. That's the goal. Just out of the blue, something I said, something I did, probably nothing good, but it just all of a sudden happened without any actual work on my part. Anyways, how driving used to be. Now, there are so many instances of what's now called reckless driving, drunk driving, impaired driving, if you will. Back in the day, from when I was a kid or when I was a teenager, but there were a few things in particular that I wanted to talk about. Now, the drunk driving thing, you don't want to drive drunk. The only reason I brought that up is because I specifically remember stories from like my dad and from my friends' dads talking about how you would just drive around with, picking beers off a 6-pack on a long drive. It just was like, that's fucking banana land. That's craziness. Anyway, first thing, like sitting in the back of pickup trucks. You don't see it anymore because apparently somehow it's illegal. One kid fell out of it, probably in fucking Alabama or some shit. Fell out of it while I was driving. He split his fucking head open. Now the whole country is, I can't ride in the back of a pickup truck. I'm sure that it's ignored south of the Mason-Dixon line, just like they ignore fucking everything else. But you don't see it anymore. I specifically remember one time sitting in the back, laying in the back of a pickup truck on the way home from a bar. The driver driving erratically. It was a full pickup. No more seats, so they stick the fat guy in the back. That was an adventure. I'm glad I didn't fucking puke all over myself, but good times. Don't see it anymore. Yesterday, driving down the street, I see a car coming towards me, and there is a left foot sticking out of the window. You don't see that anymore. And that, honestly, the foot is what got me thinking about this in general. How much fun it used to be to drive. It's not fun anymore. It just seems tedious because of, traffic, the fucking just the volume of cars at any time of day. Rush hour is a non-existent thing. You have varying levels of rush hour throughout the course of the day, no matter where you are. So, obviously it's going to be busier in the morning and the afternoon, in the morning or, from 3 o'clock on. But what used to be, an hour, 2 hour trafficy window is now 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., 10 a.m., and then 2 p.m. to fucking 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. That's rush hour now. Shitty cars. You don't see shitty cars for a valid reason. Emissions problems. You can't have them anymore, so car makers had to make their cars a little bit better. But it was funny to think about. My wife was talking about a Facebook post that she saw from somebody that she knew who posted something about, their father had a car that cost $200. Every car that my dad ever drove, he bought a Cadillac later in life. He fucking loved that car. Prior to that, every car he drove was probably less than $1,000, tops. One of my stated goals in life is to be independently wealthy enough to then go out and buy the same make and model of all the cars that my dad drove that I can remember during my youth. That's most of my life, really, into my 30s. Drove the fucking craziest cars, but they were all shit boxes. He had a Renault Lacar, which, do yourself a favor, Google Renault Lacar and check this fucking bad boy out. He had a Datsun sedan. He had a 1980 Chevy Citation, which was the car that I basically learned to drive in, or that was the car that he had when I got my license. A 1980 Chevy Citation, AM radio, bench seat, sorry. He had a Ford Pinto. He had a Datsun sedan. He had a bevy of mail trucks and like box trucks that he would use to deliver mail. Some real fucking gems. But yeah, that's my goal, is to have some of these fucking cars. It's one of these things that you're fascinated by when you're a kid, is your dad's cars. And it just so happened that all of my dad's cars were fucking pieces of shit. You couldn't have that anymore. Doesn't exist. Just like hitchhiking. Oh my God. There was a guy not too long ago, same guy, on, during the course of 1 week, hitchhiking down Route 18 here, south of the city. Hitchhiking. Thumbing, needs a ride. I don't know if that's specifically been made illegal. But again, my guess is that, a handful of people picked up hitchhikers stupidly, and they died, which is probably accurate. But it used to be that's a lost art. Used to be able to get, I never actually did it. I remember multiple occasions as a kid, my dad picking up hitchhikers. There was one time where he stopped to pick up a hitchhiker because he thought it was a friend of his, and it wasn't. The guy didn't even need to go far. But yeah, most of the time that when my dad would pick up hitchhikers, it was people he knew. Because the guy, he fucking knew everybody. I'm talking about my father. It's funny. It's good. I miss the guy. He would get a fucking hoot out of this nonsense. I'll tell you that. All right, gripe number 2. The shit on the bottom of a Thomas's English Muffin. What a massive fucking mess this crap makes. We like English muffins in this house. If I'm going to put an English muffin in the toaster oven, I'm taking my hand and I'm taking the shit off the bottom of it into the sink. There it goes. Because it's fucking stupid. So I had to look it up. I'm like, what is this crap? Turns out it's something called farina. There it is, farina. It is a milled wheat, and apparently it's placed on the bottom of the Thomas's English muffin so that it doesn't burn or it doesn't stick to the pan that's being grilled in. I would like to think that we have advanced enough that the Thomas's folk can do without this. It's essentially cream of wheat, apparently. So the same shit that's in cream of wheat is on the bottom of your Thomas's English muffin. And honestly, there's no way that they're fucking griddling each and every muffin. I also learned that English muffins are only called English muffins to separate them from what we know as just muffins here in dumbass America. Apparently, they're similar to crumpets in the UK. Go figure. You learn something new every day. This is the kind of fucking dumb shit that I would seek out as a kid when I would go into the basement and pull out the 1960s encyclopedia set that was left by the previous owners of our house. And it was all in color. It wasn't a Britannica. It was some other encyclopedia set that I'm sure some poor schlub sold door to door, if I had to guess. Or I could walk to the library, which is right down the street, and bust out their top-notch Encyclopedia Britannica and search for farina. Or actually, there'd be no way to get to this. Like, there'd be no way for me to know what that was. It would take a lot of fucking work. Now I just Google what is on the bottom of a Thomas's English muffin. Boom. There it is. You Google that, it's the first thing. Farina. Apparently McDonald's uses cornmeal on theirs because they have to be different. That's what they do. But I hate that shit. It drives me fucking crazy. I don't like it. And I wish that the Thomas's people would get rid of it because there's no way I'm the only one who hates that fucking mess every single time they go to make a fucking English muffin. Okay, now, gripe number 3, I have 107 different entries into my Evernote list. And I'm going to randomize the list, and I will select the top one. Go, randomize. Number 1. Oh, that's a detailed one. Oh, I can't do that. It came up the fallacy of amateur sports and the NCAA. That's a whole fucking show. Just bought a book about that. Not about that. That was public stadiums. Another whole show. Do you know what I mean by this generalist? I'm a generalist. There's a lot going on here. Let's try this again. Give me something useful, Google. Here we go. The magical allure of free food. It's not really a gripe. I could turn it into a gripe, though. Wait, shit, no, wrong one. Male flight attendants. All right, I can gripe with that. I've never found them to be very nice. I would imagine that half the job of being a flight attendant, male or female, is to be welcoming and nice to your customers. Granted, you're in a steel tube, probably pretty difficult because there's a lot of little work that I would imagine goes into being a flight attendant aside from the fucking safety video. But every single male flight attendant I've ever had to deal with has never had a good attitude, ever. And I can't figure out why. There was one flight I took where there was a guy, an older gentleman, white-haired fella, had probably been doing this for years. Just a crusty prick. And anytime he asked a question, it would turn into an interrogation. I had asked the guy about a second beverage. It was a long-ish flight. I think I was going to Florida years ago. And I had asked him for a second beverage. I wasn't feeling that great, so I was, hoping for some ginger ale. And he clearly was going to do something else when I stopped him to ask this question. And you would have thought I had asked for his firstborn. It probably took a solid half hour before this thing showed up, and then we landed probably another half hour after that. But my gripe is I just don't understand. I wonder if male flight attendants are failed pilots. I hadn't thought about that. Or I wonder if just flight attendants in general are failed pilots. They wanted to be a pilot, couldn't hack it, wasn't good enough, but they love being in the air, so they decide to become a flight attendant. I don't know. And then the whole fallacy about attractive female flight attendants, it's not accurate. There's the occasional one, but most of them, I mean, maybe they were back in the 80s when that whole thing started. Or the 60s, 70s. I don't fucking know when it started. What am I saying? Yeah, male flight attendants. I should have given myself a bit more context on that, but the random gripe, that wasn't so bad. I just didn't add any gripes to the list. The next one down is top 5 meats. That's a whole show. It's a discussion I had with a wonderful coworker, or former coworker of mine. Top 5 meats. That's a whole show. I may just do a special top 5 meats show. See, now that's the kind of show that you want to have a guest for, or multiple guests for. Top 5 meats. We'll put that out there, see what happens. Anyway, that's it for the show. This has gone on too long. And it was, not that great. But I thank you for listening to the program. Check out the Instagram page, Complaints and Observations Pod, the Twitter page, Complaints Pod, the YouTube page, Complaints and Observations Pod, I think. I don't know. There should be a YouTube video this weekend. The 10 dog challenge is coming. We're going to make my slightly obese friend Jeff eat 10 hot dogs and buns, 4th of July. I'm still trying to narrow down the type of hot dog. We're not giving him what he wants. We're going to make him suffer a little bit. So there'll be some YouTube content there. What else do I have to promote? Oh, show mail at complaintsandobservations.com. Send an email. If you can't figure out how to leave a voicemail, an email is fine. Send it in. Be part of the program. When I said I was going to do this, I had so many people say, "Oh, I'll be a guest on your show. Can't wait for the show. It's going to be great." And I know they're just being nice and whatnot, but you could be on the show. You could be part of the program. Call in, leave a voicemail, and tell your fucking friends. I need to grow this audience, and I'm doing nothing for it. But I'm blaming you, the listener. Bumper stickers are coming. I'm going to give away some bumper stickers so if people can splatter them all over their local area. People look at it and be like, "What the fuck is that? What?" Ugh. And they'll check it out. But that's it. Enjoy your week. I will talk to you folks on Thursday. Till then, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Godspeed, and ta-ta.